Mika Kimura, 28, was at a company hangout. She usually doesn't attend, but this time she couldn't refuse her boss's strong invite and ended up taking a seat.
Whoa, Kimura, you actually came? I thought you only cared about work.
Seriously, this is our first chat outside work hours, right?
Around them, people were laughing and pouring drinks, but Mika couldn't truly enjoy herself. The talk was all complaints about work and gossip about romance.
By the way, Kimura, do you have a boyfriend?
At that question, the group suddenly fell silent, focusing their curious gazes on her. Mika hesitated for a moment, but answered calmly.
No, I don't.
Wait, so you've never had one?
Huh? You're 28, right? For real?
It sounded like a casual joke, but a few of the female employees quietly snickered.
No way. But then again, Kimura's kind of a total workaholic, isn't she?
I mean, isn't that kind of bad, as a working adult?
Mika laughed it off, but deep down she felt a small sting. She thought she didn't care, but hearing it so directly made her uneasy. Then suddenly, Keigo Nakamura, 29, who was sitting next to her, spoke up.
Hey, is having no dating experience really that big a deal?
In the sudden quiet, Keigo tipped his glass slightly and glanced over at Mika.
If she's not bothered, what's the problem?
No, come on, it's definitely a problem. Like, how will she ever get married?
Yeah. As a grown woman, you gotta have some dating experience. Even as a working professional, it looks bad.
Mika wanted to say, just mind your own business, but Keigo spoke first.
Then I'll teach her.
Huh?
The room buzzed. A few of the female employees looked at him with wide eyes, totally surprised.
Wait, hold on. What are you talking about?
Exactly what I said. Kimura, you've got a mental block about romance, right?
Well,
She tried to deny it, but the words wouldn't come. Honestly, she'd always felt romance just isn't for me.
Then I'll help you out. Think of it like practice.
Mika shot him a look of disbelief. Keigo was known throughout the company as a ladies' man, rumored to be a real player. It had to be a joke.
you're kidding, right?
Does this sound like a joke?
His expression wasn't the usual careless grin. It was ambiguous. He could be dead serious or just teasing.
Wait, isn't this kind of interesting?
Kimura, maybe you should actually try it?
No way I'm doing that.
But it's rare for Keigo to say something like that, right?
Then if Kimura can't handle him, maybe he can date us next?
Hearing those playful words, Mika frowned slightly. Still, she didn't want to spoil the mood, so she gave a light laugh and let it pass.
That's not gonna happen.
Keigo brushed it off casually, but shot a quick glance only Mika could catch. For a moment, Mika's heart gave a tiny jump. Was he serious or just joking? The next day, Mika Kimura sat at her desk, recalling last night's get-together. She kept thinking about Keigo Nakamura's "I'll teach you." Was he serious, or was it just a casual remark? The more she dwelled on it, the more she couldn't forget the way he looked at her. He seemed way too serious for it to be just a joke. But he's a popular guy. He might say stuff like that on a whim. I'm sure there's no deeper meaning. Probably. Even so, she felt nervous and kept typing at her keyboard. Suddenly, a shadow fell across her desk.
Hey, are you free at lunch?
For a second, she thought she misheard him.
What?
Slowly looking up, she saw Keigo standing there, looking down at her. His expression wasn't his usual playful smile.
Why?
You didn't forget what I said, did you?
Mika immediately recalled last night. "I'll teach you." His words echoed in her mind again. So, was he actually serious? But maybe he's just being sociable and inviting me on a whim. Trying to sound calm, she gave a safe answer.
Well, I'm free, I guess.
Perfect, then let's do it. Lunch.
He said it like it was the most natural thing ever. Mika, slightly startled, realized she hadn't really agreed to anything yet.
Wait, where are we going?
Didn't I say it's date practice?
And with that casual remark, Keigo walked away. Mika's fingers stopped typing. She stared blankly at his retreating figure. Wait, is he for real? Her heart began to beat slowly but steadily, faster. Following Keigo's lead, Mika ended up at a trendy cafe near the office. Usually, she ate a quick lunch by herself, But sitting face to face with Keigo made her self-conscious of every little move.
You never go eat with a guy one-on-one, right? So let's start with this.
It sounded silly, but he wasn't wrong. Outside of work, it really had been ages since Mika ate with a man. Keigo chatted in his usual laid-back manner, like he was trying to ease her tension.
Still, you're really hard to approach, you know.
What do you mean by that?
You're just like you are at work, never letting your guard down.
Mika realized she'd been sitting up stiffly and relaxed her posture a bit. It had been a long time since she was so aware of her own behavior. And that was how her fake romance with Keigo started. After that, Keigo began inviting Mika out a lot more. They started having lunch together regularly, and they'd sometimes grab drinks after work. What started as a test run became a normal part of her routine. Naturally, coworkers around them started to notice.
Hey, haven't those two been hanging out a bit too much lately?
Seriously, why is Nakamura paying so much attention to Kimura?
Could it be he's really into her?
Rumors spread through the office, but Mika pretended not to notice. However, she couldn't ignore her own changing feelings. For some reason, she felt at ease around Keigo. They didn't just talk about work, but random stuff too. Whenever he smiled, she found herself smiling along. Was this what you call love? Then one day at work, Mika heard a startling rumor.
Hey, did you hear? Nakamura's dating some gorgeous woman from an international firm.
I knew it. He's way too popular to be single.
The moment she heard that, Mika felt her chest tighten. Why does this hurt so much? Until then, she'd treated it as practice, but it seemed her feelings had become real. From that day on, Mika started avoiding Keigo. When he tried to talk to her, she brushed him off with a laugh and didn't engage beyond work topics. Acting normal in front of him was harder than she expected. Yet she couldn't stop distancing herself. After all, he apparently already had someone else.
Hey, why are you avoiding me lately?
Right before quitting time, Mika was called into a meeting room where Keigo confronted her.
I'm not avoiding you.
Don't lie. You don't talk like you used to. You won't even look me in the eye. What's going on?
She couldn't possibly say, I started liking you, but you have someone else.
So you really believe I'm seeing someone?
At those words, Mika froze. Keigo's eyes were staring straight at her. You seriously think I'm dating someone else? His words echoed in her mind. She stood there, baffled, searching her own feelings. What was I believing in all this time? She had blindly believed the office gossip and pushed him away without checking the truth. Thinking logically, if he was actually serious with someone, he'd be more obvious about it. But still,
So it's not true?
Nope. You got caught up in rumors and shut me out, right?
He spoke plainly, not sounding angry, yet his words stung. Keigo's eyes were quietly fixed on Mika. She was too scared to see what lay behind them.
I'm sorry.
Well, whatever. Just don't run away again.
With that, Keigo left the meeting room. Mika couldn't move, only watching his back as he walked away. She wanted to chase him, but her legs wouldn't move. I really didn't trust him at all. She felt pathetic, frustrated, and couldn't stand it. After work, she stopped by a cafe with a coworker and overheard something.
Hey, I heard Nakamura might be transferred.
Yeah, they say he's a candidate for a new overseas project team.
Mika froze mid-movement. He's being transferred abroad? He never told her a word about it. Why? Her emotions swirled as she tried to process everything. Sure, it's work, but if that's the case, why didn't he mention it? Her coworkers soon changed the subject, but Mika's thoughts stayed stuck. Should she ask him about it? Is it too late? Could she accept it if he just left like this? Even after getting home, she couldn't get that transfer out of her head. She picked up her phone, typed, "Is it true you're getting transferred?" then quickly deleted it. What would happen if she sent it? Would he answer, or tell her not to worry about his job? She typed and erased over and over. Is doing nothing and letting time pass really okay? Her fingers moved on their own.
Can we talk now?
Her heart pounded the moment she hit send. A few moments later, her phone vibrated.
Where are you right now?
Her heartbeat quickened even more. Let's meet somewhere. She wanted to see him. She wanted to know what was on his mind. Mika's fingertips trembled slightly as she stared at her phone.
Can you meet me at the cafe by the station?
Seconds after sending it, a reply came.
Wait for me.
Would he really come this late at night? Yet her heart was already hoping he would. She wasn't sure how long she waited. The sound of the door opening made her look up. And there was Keigo, same as ever.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
He was slightly out of breath as he sat down across from her.
I didn't think you'd actually come.
Of course I would. You asked me to, right?
He said it like it was obvious, and Mika breathed out a quiet sigh. She didn't know where to start or how to begin. But she knew what needed to be said.
Is that transfer story true?
Yeah, but it's not finalized yet.
He answered calmly, like it wasn't a big deal. But for Mika, it was definitely a big deal.
Why didn't you tell me anything?
Did I have to?
Mika caught her breath. He looked calm as ever, but there was a hint of uncertainty in his voice.
It's about work, right? I figured it didn't concern you.
Of course it concerns me.
She blurted it out, only now realizing just how much he mattered to her.
I see, but I realized something too.
He slowly put down his cup and locked eyes with her.
At first, it really was just practice. But the more time I spent with you, the less I could brush it off.
Her heart gave a jolt. His words were heading in a completely unexpected direction.
I couldn't figure out why your reactions mattered to me, or why it pissed me off when you avoided me. But now I get it.
He let out a small laugh, definitely not his usual overconfident grin.
I'm into you.
She felt like her breath stopped. His words pierced straight through her. Is this a joke, or are you just caught up in the moment? She tried to wonder, but as soon as she met his eyes, all doubts vanished.
You're serious?
Yeah, how about you?
Mika nodded without hesitation.
I like you too, Keigo.
Finally, she recognized her own feelings. When she realized how huge the fear of losing him was, everything became crystal clear.
I see.
He gave a slight smile, then reached out and lightly touched her hand.
If you feel that way, then I'm not going anywhere.
A soft warmth spread through her chest. She felt like she'd finally received the words she'd been waiting for.
Thank you.
She couldn't say anything else, but it was enough. She felt something real take shape between them. A few months later, Mika Kimura's daily routine had definitely changed since that night. She was still serious about her job. But she no longer thought, who needs romance? All because he was right there by her side. Mika lightly ran her fingers over the ring on her left hand and smiled softly. A simple but warm ring.
Wait, did you see that?
I did, but I still can't believe it.
In a corner of the office, coworkers whispered to each other.
No way, Kimura with Nakamura?
You've got to be kidding. How?
They sounded clearly frustrated. They'd always looked down on Mika as a no-romance workaholic. But now she was standing beside the company's biggest ladies' man, Keigo Nakamura. She'd tried to avoid him so many times, yet here she was by his side. It felt surreal. However, there was one thing she was sure of. I'm not the same person I used to be.
Morning, Ms. Kimura. That ring, is that...
Yeah, pretty much.
Mika gave a quiet smile. Meanwhile, across the office, some coworkers exchanged looks, clearly unsatisfied.
Why her? Kimura of all people.
I was way closer to Nakamura than she was.
Sensing their envious stares, Mika calmly sat down at her desk. At that moment, the office door opened and Keigo Nakamura walked in. He headed straight to Mika's desk without any hesitation.
Morning.
One word, but it felt like it carried a special meaning. Mika smiled slightly, and he nodded in satisfaction. The atmosphere in the office shifted instantly.
I still can't believe it.
Why are those two together?
Ignoring their stunned faces, Mika took a sip of her coffee. Then she thought, "This is the future I chose." With a small smile toward her old self, she began a brand new day.